We've been in our Melbourne lockdown now for the last few weeks. I've actually lost count of how many weeks we have been in lockdown, and we've done quite a few different projects around the house. We've finished some of our front yard renovations and worked in just tidying up our backyard that we renovated last year. And we still don't have an end in sight as to when this lockdown will finish, so we can't seem to help ourselves and sit still. So seeing we still can't go away, we thought that we would start on a new project. It's one that we've talked about doing for quite some time, and just because we're always away, we have never had the time to actually do it. And now that we are still stuck at home, we're going to do it. So we've decided we're redoing our kitchen. We moved into this house 12 years ago, and the house is about 13 years old, and it was never really done in the design that we would have liked to have chosen with our colours and things like that. So we're just giving it a nice good makeover. We are changing quite a few different things that you'll see along the way. So this is going to be a bit of a different vlog of our journey of fixing up our kitchen. And we have renovated our previous two houses that we have owned, so we have a bit of an idea of what we're doing as well. So in this house, we really love the Hamptons type luxe interior style with a little bit of a twist here and there. So that's the sort of theme that we'll be running with as we go throughout. We're also not going to be ripping out the kitchen entirely. We're going to be going over the existing laminate and redoing it that way. So we're trying to save as much money where we can as well. Obviously, we haven't been able to work for quite some time, so this has got to be done nicely but on a budget as well. So hopefully you get some good ideas. I'm going to flip you around. Don't get a shock. We have already started pulling apart the kitchen and just cleaning it up and started prepping and painting the walls. So it's a bit of a bomb zone. I will actually put some pictures as well at the end of all of this, so you can have a good snapshot of exactly what the kitchen looked like before we started. This is going to follow suit through the rest of the house with the design as well, down the hallway and things like that. So it'll give you a bit of a good idea. So I'll flip you around and you can have a bit of a look at what we've got going on here. So this is obviously the kitchen at the moment. We have started to put the paint on the walls above the range hood, but it's a little bit hard to tell at the moment, probably with this lighting, just because we've got the spotlight on there. It is like a light grey in colour, but it's going to contrast really well with the white. We're going to be doing wainscoting throughout the walls and on the cabinetry as well. We're going to turn what is existing into laminate into hopefully what will look like a nice Hamptons kitchen. We've purchased a skylight, but not skylight. It's actually a fake skylight that's going to be going in here because it is quite dark in here during the day without lighting. So that's going to be really nice and exciting. We've wanted to do that for ages. We've also got one to go down the hallway. We've also got some suspension lights, really beautiful ones that I've selected to go over the bench tops here. Again, this is something that we've talked about wanting to have done for a very long time. So we've had quite a bit of an idea and a visionary of what we wanted. We're only just now being able to put it into fruition. Above our fridge, you'll see there's quite a big open cavity, and a lot of people in these type of homes that have that situation have converted that into some storage, whether it be wine rack storage or cupboard or shelving. But it is quite a dead wasted space, as you can see up there. So we've been discussing that, and just watch this space as to how we turn it around and what we turn it into. So you can see as we come through here, it's currently got laminate doors. And again, as we have talked about this for some time, we were looking at turning this into a white kitchen. We had the doors actually properly laminated at the top section, but we never got around to the rest of it. Well, now what we've decided to do as a cost saver as well, not only are we going to be putting some like wainscoting on the cupboards and doors to change the look of it, but we've also bought a laminate paint, so that's going to be really interesting to see how that turns out. And as we go through this project, you'll be able to follow along with us and see how it worked. But we're going to be changing all the cabinetry. At the moment, it's got Caesar stone bench tops. We love the stone, but we're not a real fan of the colour. But that's because we're working with this existing colour palette that we're not real fans of either. Same as the glass splashback. It's not something that we personally would have chosen, but because they're sort of big items to have to replace, and we don't want to be going ahead and doing that if we can help it, we're going to leave those two particular items, do everything else around it, see how it looks, and if it doesn't look very well, there are other choices and options that we might be able to do to change that. So again, it's a bit of a watch this space at the moment. So you can see up here, we've already started painting the walls, and what we're going to actually be doing, Jason's already put the plugs in place. We've bought some floating shelving to go on either side of the range hood, because before there was just nothing there, and again it was total wasted space. And we've got this really beautiful coffee machine that Jason got for Father's Day, and we've got some beautiful teapots and coffee and things like that we want to put on display. So we decided to turn the existing space up there into floating shelving, which is going to look absolutely fantastic when that's done. So really excited to be able to show you that when it's finished. So again, it's all very much a work in progress. It's started, yes, please look past the mess at the moment, and I will come to you and bring you little snippets through this, and you can join along with us and see how we do things. And like I said, hopefully it might give you out there some ideas or some inspiration of something that you might like to turn your kitchen into that might have similar bones to what this one does. But yeah, definitely hope that we can help, and we look forward to bringing this to you. We'll catch you after. Just a little bit of a tip. When you are going to be going around and painting all your walls and ceilings and everything like that, have a look around. As I said, this house is only 13 years old, and you do get movement as a natural course in a house with walls and things like that, and little cracks form, especially around the cornice areas and around the joints. I'm going to turn you around and you can have a bit of a look at what Jason's doing right now. So he's just following the line. You can see around the edge of the pantry here, you've got a few little cracks that have appeared. As I said, it's quite normal with houses, they move. So do yourself a favour, if you're going to do it right. And now is your chance to just run a bit of a gap sealant around those particular spaces. And then when you do come along and finish, you get a nice clean finish, and all the cracks will be gone and it'll look like new, and it just makes the job just so much neater and better. So you can see up here, he's already done them, and he's just going to run along now and just finish off the ones on the cornice where it meets the wall. And you can see what an absolute massive difference it'll do as a finished result. As I said, it'll look brand new. So don't skip that. It doesn't cost much. Just takes a couple of extra steps, but makes a big difference at the end of the day. I thought I'd do a quick cut over just to show you the progress that we have done and achieved in the kitchen so far. We've probably only been working a few hours a bit at a time over a couple of days to get where we are at the moment. So I will show you the progress that we have achieved. So far we've painted half our wall in our contrasting colour of the darker grey, and Jason has managed to mount the new shelving systems above the range hood over there as well, which are looking absolutely fabulous and working a treat. So what he's working on at the moment is the panelling that we're going to be doing all along throughout the house, and this is the Hamptons Style that we wanted to go with. So the bottom section of the panelling is going to eventually be painted in white, and we'll have the contrasting top colour of the grey. So what we've used with this panelling at the moment is typically when you're doing this sort of work, this top section people use what's called a chair rail, pine chair rail, but We have decided to go with what's called just a pine panel mould, a 31 by 15 mil, if anyone wants to know the specs of what we're actually using here. And we've found that that's actually working and fitting really well. And we've put that on both the top dividing section and down by the skirting boards that we have. And the pine moulding that we've got going on here that Jason's putting on is a 15 by 11 mil pine mould framework that he's using. And so the only thing that we need to do before we can paint this and finish it off is, you'll see, I'm not sure if it's coming out at all, but the existing wall is not exactly level, and that's what you're going to get. So we've just got to run a bit of gap filler on those sections to fill it in and neaten it up. Same as in the corners where it might not meet perfectly, with just a bit of a gap filler, and clean that up, and then we'll give it a paint and it'll look absolutely spectacular. I also wanted to share with you a brilliant tool that Jason got, not just for this project but for a lot of other projects, and it's been an absolute lifesaver so far, especially with the intricacy, and you can see here, which is a laser level. So there's a few on the market. This is the product over here that he's currently using at the moment to get the next stage of paneling worked out, framework, but it's just made life so much easier to do. And mark out, like once you set it in, you can see that he's like, basically you can see what it does. And this is a 360 degree?
360 degree, yeah.
Yeah. And Jay, can you just tell them what is the actual, what type you ended up getting?
It's just the Zito 360 degree, comes with the tripod. So you've got the self-leveling, height adjustment. Yeah, really simple to use and accurate.
Yeah, it's been fantastic so far. And he used that to actually level and put up the shelving that's up there above the range hood. And as you can see, obviously doing all the framing work around the walls as well has made his life so easy. And that was from Bunnings. How much was that one, Jay?
159, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, like we said, you can get variations of different ones. You can get dearer ones, you can get a lot cheaper ones, but this is the one that he opted to go with, and he's absolutely thrilled to pieces so far with the result. So yeah, I thought I'd just do a quick cut over, show you where we're at so far. Obviously still a lot of work to go, but little pieces and stages that we're doing it in, and it's coming along really nicely. So we'll cut back when we've done a bit more. So just a quick cut over to our progress so far. As you can see, the framework is coming along very nicely. We have altered a couple of things as we've gone, but we think we're really happy with the way that it's going now. We've just covered up the bench area to clear from dust. You can see the holes in the roof up here. We're altering the lighting. The existing lighting in the kitchen had 4 downlights, and they weren't very central to anything and very useful either. So I think I mentioned earlier, we've got a couple of beautiful pendants that pendant lights that we're going to be placing over the countertop area. But we've also got a artificial skylight that we're going to be putting in as well. But the existing downlights just weren't in a really good position and didn't make an awful lot of sense. So Jason's come along, and you can see from the holes up there, he's positioned them so they're actually now, he's going to be moving the 4 that were existing and putting them over the actual workstation over here. So over the bench areas and stovetop area where you're actually going to need them. So that's going to be really cool and nice to actually be able to see without shadows and things like that what we're actually working with. So that's going to be really, really good when it's done. He's also bought a new switch that we'll talk about at another stage. It's a smart switch because the house is Google-fied and we get a lot of things automated through Google. We'd already used them in our back theatre room and they've been really successful and great, and quite often we'll come into bed and see a light coming from under the bedroom window and think, under the bedroom door and think, oh, someone forgot to turn the kitchen light off. So this is going to alleviate having to get back up again. I know it sounds a bit lazy, but it's just so awesome to be able to say, hey Google, turn the lights off. Yeah, that's going to be able to work off that as well. And the switches look really good, which we'll show you when they're actually installed. So a little bit of progress so far, and we'll cut back when we've done some more. So it has been a total of 10 days since we started our project on our kitchen, and I am so excited to say we have finally finished, and we both personally agree that this is some of the best work we've ever done with our renovating. We are so pumped about it and so excited to be able to share it with you all. So I will flip you around in a second to show you the finished product. But basically, we have done everything in this kitchen ourselves. It wasn't just a matter of a paint job, as you'll see in a second, and I'll show you around. There has been a lot of detail and a lot of work put in to the kitchen, but it has paid off in spades, and I'm sure you'll agree as I flip you around. There you have it. There is our new magnificent kitchen. Unfortunately, it is dark outside now, so I did want to present this with the new artificial sunlight, skylight, I should say, working as well, but clearly it's not because it is nighttime. I will take a shot though and pop it in the end of this montage of videos so that you can actually see how bright it is actually during the day as well. It's magnificent. We don't need to have the lights on anymore. It's just done its job beautifully. So I'll start with, obviously, as we were going through, I was talking to you and showing you pictures of all the panelling that we've done on the existing cabinetry. We haven't changed any of the cabinetry. All we've done is added the panelling detailing to it. It is a laminate, and we got a specific laminate paint from the Dulux Renovation range, which I will pop a little bit of a link at the bottom of this as well if anyone's interested in what we've actually used for that product. It was quite fiddly, and it took several days just to work with that product alone. One, because the existing laminate was brown, so it was a really dark colour obviously, but two, it is quite a thick product, and it because of the detailing it can drip and leave marks, so and it takes about 8 hours between each coat to dry, and I needed to do at least 3 coats on it to get it to look this good. Couple of little minor details to touch up still, and it takes about a full 7 days to cure, so it can be a bit soft still at the moment if we knock it and mark it, but otherwise we're absolutely thrilled to pieces with how the end result has come and turned out. So I'll just take you around from different perspectives. If you recall, we've done the pendant lights there, and Jason's moved the existing downlights over to the nook over the cooking area. We've done all the panelling, and this is the same wainscoting that we're going to be continuing through the rest of the house as well, so that gives you a little bit of an idea of what it's going to look like. We're loving the colour that we've chosen as well. We're coming around, we've changed the black chalkboard door to more of an appropriate look for this theme, which works just beautifully as well. And yeah, we've still got the whiteboard, which is great to pop on your shopping list and things like that. We are actually, at the start of this video, I had said we weren't sure that we really liked this coloured bench top or the splashback, and we were going to see how we felt about it. And right now we're absolutely totally changed. It's incredible how different a colour change makes to how something existing looks. And we actually really love now the colour bench top. It works beautifully with the new linen chairs that we got to match our existing dining chairs. It gives a little bit of warmth that we like and need, which is why we like some like minor timber detail in some of our styling. You'll see throughout as we go. Because it's so stark white down the bottom, I think anything, certainly a white, changing it to a white stone would look just too white. Originally I was thinking something black, but that wouldn't work either. I'm actually really liking the colour that it is now. I'm not even totally opposed at this point to the tiles that we always loathed, because it kind of works with the colouring of the bench tops. Still a bit undecided whether we're going to keep the tiles as they are on the floor, but at this stage we're certainly leaving them, because that is a massive job just on its own. And the fact that the splashback we're actually really liking as well. It's working really well with everything and the coloration. Jason's just got a couple of little minor things to finish off, like you'll see the light leads just need to be pinned back, but that's pretty much it. Everything else is completed and finished. Coming to over here, our microwave was on its last legs for some time, so that was perfect. We were able to get a microwave to match the rest of the cooking materials and devices that are in here, so that worked out really, really well. Now, I don't know if you've noticed something, but we no longer have a bin on the floor. That was one of the banes of our life. We hated the mess that it made, and it took up valuable floor space. It actually looks huge here as well now. The colour change as you walk through, I don't know if it comes through on the camera, but it actually looks just so much bigger. So Jason decided to utilise the space that's under the sink, and we've now got a pull-out bin, which is just brilliant. We'll show you in here. So here it is down here. Yes, it's a much smaller bin, but it just means we have to not accumulate so much rubbish into the bin. We have to take it out a bit more regularly, which is really not a bad thing. And it just pulls out, so it's great. Nice double bin. It's got little handles in here that they easily pick up, so I can work with my scraps on the bench without dragging things across the floor. I've got a second one for some recycles as well, so that's worked out beautifully, and that's now disappeared off the floor. Changed the clock just with the styling as well. Little tiny details like that have just completely brought the whole kitchen together and just made it so resolved and finished, and we're absolutely thrilled to pieces with the end result. If you can have a look there and just see for yourself. Stunning. So now our next project will be moving on to our dining room, so that we don't have, as you can see, half grey walls leading into nothing. So hopefully we'll be able to get working on that in the coming days, and that shouldn't be anywhere near as fiddly as what the kitchen was. Hopefully we can knock that over and then move on to the living area. So watch this space. But for now, we hope that you enjoyed having a look and watching as we changed our kitchen, and hopefully it's given you some ideas. If you have any questions about any of what you've seen, or wondering how we did something, then just shoot us the question and we're more than happy to answer for you. But thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to bringing you our next room makeover.